There is a story told about your health, a story of restriction and fear. It says some foods are enemies. But what if the real enemy is the story itself? What if a simple shift in understanding could unlock a vitality you thought was lost? 99% will only hear the names of the cheeses, but they will miss the final practice. Without it, the knowledge is a map without a compass, leaving you lost in the same woods as before. Understanding nourishment. Before we speak of what to eat and what to avoid, we must first adjust the lens through which we see. We have been taught to view food as a collection of numbers and labels, calories, fat grams, good, bad. This approach turns every meal into a calculation, a source of anxiety. It creates a relationship of conflict with the very thing that is meant to sustain us. We must move beyond this. Nourishment is not a mathematical equation, it is a relationship. It is a conversation between you and your body, between your body and the earth. To engage in this conversation, we must first learn to listen. What is your body telling you? Not through cravings born of habit, but through the subtle signals of energy, of clarity, of comfort or discomfort. This is the beginning of wisdom. It is shifting from being a passive consumer of food to being a conscious participant in your own vitality. It is understanding that every single thing you choose to eat is an instruction you are giving to your body. Is the instruction one of chaos and confusion, or one of harmony and support? The concept of good and bad foods is a trap. It creates guilt, shame, and a cycle of restriction and indulgence. A more skillful way to see is to ask, what is the nature of this food? Where does it come from? What is its essence? Is it a product of a factory or a product of the earth? Is it something your great-grandmother would recognize as food? This simple inquiry can be a powerful guide. The foods that often cause us trouble are not foods in their true form, but food-like products. Things that have been engineered in a laboratory to be irresistible to our primitive brains, but which offer little in the way of true, deep nourishment. They are illusions. They promise satisfaction but deliver inflammation and depletion. Our task is not to label them as bad, but to see them for what they are, empty promises. We do not need to fight them. We simply need to see through the illusion. When you see a mirage in the desert for what it is, you no longer feel the urge to run towards it. You simply walk a different path. With age, the body's margin for error becomes smaller. In our youth, we could get away with more. The body's vital force was strong enough to handle the chaos. But as we enter the later seasons of life, wisdom requires that we become more precise, more intentional. This is not a limitation, it is a refinement. It is an opportunity to cultivate a deeper level of care and respect for the vessel that has carried us through life. The conversation about cheese is not really about cheese, it is a case study. It is an example of how we can apply this refined awareness to a single category of food to understand a universal principle. The principle is this: the closer a food is to its natural state, the more life force and coherent information it contains. The more it is manipulated, processed, and denatured, the more it becomes a source of stress rather than a source of strength for the body. This is the only rule you need to remember. So, as we explore these different types of cheese, I invite you to hold this perspective. Do not create a new list of forbidden foods in your mind. Instead, cultivate a new level of understanding. See this not as a set of restrictions, but as a set of liberating truths. The truth is that your body possesses an incredible innate intelligence. It knows how to heal, how to maintain balance. Our only job is to stop giving it instructions that interfere with that intelligence and to start providing it with the simple, honest materials it needs to do its work. This is a path of cooperation, not control. It is a path of peace, not of war. And it is a path that is available to you starting with your very next meal. For illusions, let us first look at the illusions, the forms of cheese that are so far removed from their origin that they offer more confusion than nourishment to the body. The first, and perhaps most pervasive, is what is known as American cheese, or processed cheese slices. We must be clear, this is not cheese. It is a cheese product. It begins its life as fragments of real cheese, which are then melted down, emulsified, and combined with a host of other ingredients: vegetable oils, excess sodium, artificial colors, and preservatives. The end result is a substance with a uniform texture and an unnaturally long shelf life, designed for convenience and meltability, not for nutrition. When you consume this, you are not giving your body the coherent information of a traditional food. You are giving it a chemical puzzle to solve. The high levels of sodium contribute to high blood pressure, the inflammatory oils disrupt cellular function, and the lack of true nutrients means you have consumed calories without receiving any real sustenance. It is an illusion of cheese, a shadow on the wall. To choose this is to choose depletion over nourishment. The second illusion is found in many pre-shredded, bagged cheeses. While the cheese itself may be real to begin with, the problem lies in what is added to it. To prevent the shreds from clumping together in the bag, manufacturers coat them with anti-caking agents. These can include things like wood pulp, cellulose, potato starch, or calcium sulfate. While these are considered safe in small amounts, they are not food. They are industrial additives. They introduce a foreign element into your digestive system that can be irritating and inflammatory for some people. More than that, it is a matter of principle. Why would we willingly consume a product to which wood pulp has been added for the sake of convenience? This practice represents a fundamental disconnection from the nature of food. The simple act of buying a block of real cheese and grating it yourself takes only a few moments, but it is a world of difference in terms of the information you are giving your body. It is a choice for purity over convenience, for wholeness over fragmentation. The third illusion to be aware of is cream cheese, particularly the low-fat or fat-free versions. Traditional cream cheese is already a highly processed food, but the low-fat varieties take it a step further. When you remove the fat from a dairy product, you remove the flavor and the texture. To compensate, manufacturers add a host of other ingredients: gums, stabilizers, and often sugar or artificial sweeteners to make it palatable. You are left with a product that is a chemical concoction, far removed from the simple goodness of milk and cream. The full-fat versions, while still processed, are at least more honest in their composition. However, the very nature of cream cheese, soft, highly spreadable, and often consumed with processed carbohydrates like bagels, encourages overconsumption and contributes to an inflammatory dietary pattern. It is a food that offers very little nutritional density in return for its caloric cost. It is a food of indulgence, not of deep structural nourishment. Finally, the fourth illusion is any cheese that comes in a spray can or a squeeze tube. This should be self-evident, yet these products exist and are consumed. Here, we are at the furthest possible point from the origin of cheese. This is not food. It is a novelty item, a triumph of food engineering over nutrition. The ingredient list is often a long and bewildering collection of whey, milk protein concentrate, modified food starch, canola oil, and a litany of chemical salts, preservatives, and artificial flavors. It is a product designed to sit on a shelf indefinitely. To consume this is to treat your body like a waste receptacle. It is a profound act of disrespect to the temple. Seeing these products not as bad, but as the empty illusions they are, removes their power. There is no temptation because there is no substance. There is nothing there for your body to recognize or use. It is simply a void. Recognizing this void is the first step toward choosing substance. 4 pillars. Now, let us turn our attention from the shadows to the substance. Let us explore the pillars of the cheese world, those that are not only permissible but can be powerful allies in cultivating strength and vitality, especially in our later years. The first pillar is Pecorino Romano. This is a hard, salty cheese from Italy made from sheep's milk. The fact that it is made from sheep's milk is significant. Sheep's milk is often easier to digest than cow's milk for many people, as it has a different protein structure, less A1 casein, and smaller fat globules. More importantly, Pecorino Romano is a powerhouse of nutrition. It is exceptionally high in a specific type of healthy fat called conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which has been studied for its anti-inflammatory properties. It is also a fantastic source of highly bioavailable calcium and phosphorus for bone health, and because it is aged for a long period, it is rich in vitamin K2, a crucial nutrient that helps direct calcium into your bones and away from your arteries. Its hard texture and robust flavor mean that a small amount goes a long way, providing immense nutritional benefit without encouraging overconsumption. The second pillar is real Parmesan, or Parmigiano Reggiano. Like Pecorino, this is a hard, aged cheese, but it is made from cow's milk. Its power lies in its aging process. A true Parmigiano Reggiano is aged for a minimum of 12 months, and often for 24 months or more. During this long aging, two wonderful things happen. First, nearly all the lactose is broken down, making it virtually lactose-free and easy on the digestion. Second, the proteins are broken down into smaller, more easily absorbed peptides and free amino acids. It is essentially a pre-digested food. This means the protein is incredibly bioavailable, ready to be used by the body to repair tissues and maintain muscle mass, a critical benefit when fighting age-related muscle loss. It is also, like Pecorino, an excellent source of calcium and vitamin K2. Buying a wedge of real Parmigiano Reggiano with the rind that shows its authenticity is an investment in your structural integrity. The third pillar is one that might surprise you: goat cheese or chèvre. We are speaking here of simple, fresh goat cheese, the kind that comes in a log. Like sheep's milk, goat's milk has a different structure that many find gentler on their system. It is naturally lower in lactose than cow's milk and contains smaller fat molecules, which can make it easier to digest. But its real strength lies in its unique fatty acid profile. It is a rich source of medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, a type of fat that is metabolized differently from the long-chain fats found in most other foods. MCTs are sent directly to the liver and are more readily converted into energy or ketones rather than being stored as body fat. This provides a clean, efficient source of fuel for the body and brain. Goat cheese is also a good source of selenium, a critical antioxidant mineral, and phosphorus for bone health. Its tangy flavor provides a wonderful contrast in salads and other dishes, offering both pleasure and deep nourishment. The fourth and final pillar is a high-quality aged cheddar, but we must be very specific here. We are not talking about the mild orange-colored blocks in the dairy aisle. We are talking about a real traditional cheddar, preferably made from the milk of grass-fed cows and aged for at least a year. The color should be a natural pale yellow, not a bright orange from the addition of annatto coloring. Like Parmesan, the aging process breaks down the lactose and makes the proteins more digestible. The key here is grass-fed. Milk from cows that have grazed on pasture is significantly higher in omega-3 fatty acids, CLA, and fat-soluble vitamins like A, E, and K2 compared to milk from grain-fed cows. This is a completely different food. It is a food that contains the intelligence of the earth, the energy of the sun captured by the grass. A sharp, crumbly, aged cheddar is not just a treat. It is a dense source of the very nutrients needed to maintain a strong frame, a clear mind, and a resilient immune system. It is a true pillar of strength. Integration practice. Knowing the pillars is one thing. Integrating them into the foundation of your life is another. This is the practice, the part that requires more than just knowledge. It requires a shift in action. The first step is procurement. This means making a conscious choice at the store. It means walking past the wall of brightly colored plastic-wrapped cheese products and seeking out the real thing. It might mean going to a deli counter or a specialty cheese shop. See this not as a chore, but as a treasure hunt. Look for the wedges of Pecorino or Parmesan with the stamp on the rind. Find the simple log of goat cheese with minimal ingredients. Seek out the pale, crumbly block of aged grass-fed cheddar. This act of choosing is your first commitment. You are voting with your money and your attention for quality, for tradition, for real food. Hold the cheese in your hand. Feel its weight, its density. This is substance. This is real. The second step is preparation. This involves bringing the ritual of mindfulness to the food. Instead of tearing open a bag of pre-shredded cheese, take your wedge of Parmesan. Use a real grater. As you grate it, pay attention to the process. The sound, the feel, the aroma that is released. You are participating in your food, you are breaking it down with your own hands, preparing it to nourish your body. This small act of effort connects you to the food in a way that passive consumption never can. It slows you down. It fosters a sense of respect for what you are about to eat. When you slice a piece of aged cheddar, observe its crumbly texture. When you spread goat cheese on a slice of apple, notice its creaminess. This is not just about eating, it is about experiencing. This is how you absorb not just the nutrients, but the life force of the food. The third step is intentional consumption. These cheeses are not meant to be eaten in large, mindless quantities. They are nutritionally dense and rich in flavor. A little goes a long way. Use them as a powerful accent to your meals, not as the main event. A sprinkle of grated pecorino over a vegetable soup. A few shavings of Parmesan on a large salad. A small slice of aged cheddar with a handful of nuts for a snack. A dollop of goat cheese on roasted beets. By using them in this way, you are adding a tremendous amount of nutrition and flavor without overloading your system. Savor each bite. Let the complex flavors unfold in your mouth. Eat slowly enough to allow your body to send the signal of satiety. This is the difference between eating until you are full and eating until you are nourished. The former is a physical sensation, the latter is a state of being. Finally, the fourth step is observation. This is the closing of the loop. After you have eaten, pay attention. How do you feel? Not just immediately after, but an hour later, 3 hours later. Do you feel energized? Do you feel heavy and sluggish? Do you feel clear-headed? This is the conversation. This is your body giving you feedback. By listening to this feedback, you begin to learn a language that is more accurate than any book or expert. You learn the language of your own unique body. This practice of procurement, preparation, intentional consumption, and observation, when applied consistently, will do more for your health than any list of good or bad foods ever could. It is how you move from being a follower of rules to being the master of your own well-being. It is the integration of wisdom into life. True nourishment is not found in a list of foods to eat or avoid. It is found in a state of awareness. It is found in the conscious, respectful relationship we cultivate with our body and with the food that sustains it. The journey to health is not about restriction, but about refinement. It is about learning to see through the illusions of the modern food landscape and to recognize the simple, powerful truth of real food. By choosing substance over shadow, by participating in our nourishment with intention and care, we provide our body with more than just nutrients. We provide it with the information of harmony, the building blocks of vitality, and the deep, quiet strength to walk our path with grace. Which of these principles, seeing illusions, building with pillars, or the integration practice, resonated most deeply with you, and why?